Alright, this is 5-4 multinomial part 2. We're going to use the calculator to do the work for us, but the first thing we need to do is figure out what to plug into the calculator. So this is example 5-25, and I'm just going to read it verbatim from the book. In a large city, 50% of people choose a movie, 30% choose dinner and a play, and 20% choose shopping as a leisure activity. If a sample of 5 people is randomly selected, find the probability that 3 are planning to go to the movie, 1 to a play, and 1 to a shopping mall. Now, we need to identify what's going on. So firstly, we are grabbing 5 people, so n is equal to 5. We asked the question of 3 different activities. There's choosing to go to the movie, so that's going to be my first type, and it was 3 of those, which is a chance of 50% or 0.5. 1 was going to a play, so that's 1, and the likelihood of play was 30%, so 0.3. And 1 was going shopping, and that was a chance of 20%. Now, make sure that your probabilities add up to be 1. If they don't add up to be 1, then you may have to reword the problem to figure out if there was a 4th type you didn't know about. Double check the counts. 3 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to the total, which is 5. Alright, once you have that done, now we need to plug it into the calculator. Now, the calculator isn't so bad once you get used to using it, but there's not a built-in distribution for this like there is for binomial, like there is for Poisson. Alright, so you have to do it by hand. So, my calculator is on. Clearing out my old stuff. It is going to be 5 factorial, so it's 5 stat 5 math probability factorial, which is number 4, divided by, and here's where you got to watch out. Open up a set of parentheses. If you don't have the set of parentheses, you're not dividing everything you're supposed to divide by. So it's 3 math probability exclamation point for the first type times, I don't have to do anything, but 1 math probability the second type, 1 math probability the third type. Alright, so this is the first part of the equation. Alright, n factorial over x1 factorial, x2 factorial, x3 factorial. Now I need to multiply this by my powers of my probabilities. So open up parentheses, it'll make your life easier. So we have 50% for the first type, and it was 3 of those, so raised to the 3. We had 30% of the next one, and there was 1 of those. And lastly, we had 20% of the third one, and it was 1 of those. So these powers are the different x1, x2, x3 values. It's the number of successes for that type. Alright, hit enter, and we get 0.15, which is exactly what the book had. Alright, all of the multinomial into the calculator have to be by hand like this. Parentheses underneath the division is what's going to goof you up most of the time. Parentheses around each of the probabilities raised to the power is the other bad spot that a lot of students make that mistake on.